my loves, it's time for a new vlog. I was about to say weekly vlog, but that would be a lie, seeing as it's always already Wednesday. I am currently now working from home the rest of the week because last week Thomas had COVID. Yesterday Matthew tested positive for COVID after being in work for the first time in 10 days, and now we're all having to be very, very careful to make sure that we don't have COVID, and B, we don't give it my dad. So yeah, we're kind of just isolating ourselves now. So I'm staying away from my parents, I'm staying away from Matt and Tara and Thomas still. It's been like a week and a half now since I last saw Thomas. In fact, 2 weeks tomorrow since I last saw Thomas. I miss him horrifically, but it is what it is. There's not much I can do. My brother's really, really poorly today with the COVID. So yeah, I am on hump day sprints with Jade. I'm doing a little bit of work, but I'm also getting some reading done. So this essentially will not be a weekly reading vlog because I'll be taking Saturday out of it completely because I'm doing a 24-hour readathon with my patrons. But it can kind of be like an isolating vlog, I suppose, because there's not much else I can do until I know that I'm okay and I'm all clear from COVID. I kind of have to isolate a little bit and just make sure that I don't go around spreading it. So kind of stuck at home, which is, you know, it's okay. I'm a little bit gutted, I'm not gonna lie, but it was expected that COVID would be passed around the house if Thomas has had it, so there's not much we can do about that. So on that basis, I wanted to let you know what I plan on reading this week, the rest of the week. I did on Saturday start The Sound of Stars by Alicia while I was at the boys. He was playing PlayStation for a good chunk of Sunday after I'd stayed. We watched movies on Saturday, stayed over, and then he was playing PlayStation for a good chunk of Sunday, and I read like 60 pages I think of Sound of Stars while I was at his. I have now continued reading this today and I'm now on page 194, so I am smashing this out and I'm hoping to finish it today. I am reading this for review. It was sent to me by Pride Book Tour, so thank you to them and Inkyard Press, who are the publishers, for sending me a copy of this one. I really do appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to reviewing this one. I think it's on the 3rd of February on Instagram, so keep your eyes open for that. But on the back it says, can a girl who risks her life for books and an Ilori who loves pop music work together to save humanity? 2 years ago, a misunderstanding between the leaders of Earth and the invading Ilori resulted in the death of 1/3 of the world's population. Today, 17-year-old Ellie Barker survives an Ilori-controlled centre in New York City. All art, books and creative expression are illegal, but Ellie breaks the rules by keeping a secret library. When young Ilori Commander Morris finds Ellie's illegal library, he's duty-bound to deliver her for execution. But Morris isn't a typical Ilori, and Ellie and her books might be the key to a desperate rebellion of its own. I'm really enjoying this. It's queer. We have a demi-ace character in here who is Ellie. We do have non-binary characters in here, so there is a lot going on. We've had like bisexual and lesbian characters in here as well, so plenty of queerness in here. It is spacey. Obviously we've got aliens, and I'm really enjoying the creative side of it as well, with the books and music and all that good stuff. So really enjoying this one so far, having a good time with it. So I am reading that one, hoping to finish it today, and once I finish that I want to go on to The Hatmakers by Tamzin Merchant, which is the middle grade monthly book for the month of January. So I want to move on to this one. I don't think it will take me that long to get through this one if I can just sit down and bash it through. So if I can get through this today as well, that would be awesome. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but on the back, rather than reading the whole thing in here, on the back it says, Cordelia slid the hat pin into her hair, just as she had seen her aunt do 100 times. She could feel the hat pin humming with possibilities. They sang through her hair, into her head, through her chest, and right to the tips of her fingers. Magic. That gives us nothing. The little bit at the bottom says, enter a spellbinding world brimming with magic and wonder in this soaring adventure from an exceptional new storytelling talent. Underneath the dust jacket of this book is absolutely stunning. So yeah, looking forward to picking this one up. So that's another book I want to complete over the next few days. And I also have Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson, which is the second in the Mistborn Era 2 series, following Wax and Wayne. I am buddy reading this with Jade, so I do want to get through this week as well. I'm not going to read off the back of the book because that would spoil it, but continuing on with that story. And then if I do have time, because this isn't included in my, you know, Saturday TBR, that's a completely different TBR, but if I do have time, I would like to start Jade Fire Gold as well by June CL Tan. I'll finish it off next week, but I would like to at least start this one. This is Jade's buddy read for January for her Patreons, and if I don't pick this up now, I don't know if I ever will, but I'm really interested in this one, so I would like to read it. And this is the Fairy Loot special edition as well, so yeah, I would really like to try and pick this one up, if at all possible, this week. At least start it. I'm not expecting to finish this as well, but at least start it this week. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So those are my plans for the week. Seem pretty hefty, I know, but if you saw the state of Jade's TBR, this is nothing. Trust me. So yeah, hoping to finish The Sound of Stars and get a decent chunk, if not finish The Heartmakers today, and then continue on with the other two for the rest of the week. Also Sunday will be in this reading vlog. We're just cutting out Saturday because it will be a separate reading vlog. So that's where I'm at. So I thought I'd come on and start off this reading vlog, give you an introduction, etc., and let you know how I'm getting on, because you know it's Wednesday now and we're already 3 days into the week. My mental state is not completely stable at the moment. We've been having some bad news the last few days about my grandpa. So he's still okay. He's in hospital still. He has been for the last 6 weeks, but he now has COVID, and there's just a lot of things going on, and it's not great news, and it's been very mentally draining and exhausting. So on top of this, for Thomas to have COVID and then my brother, it's quite stressful, because obviously we want to try and keep my dad clear, not only for his own health, because he is at risk, high risk with COVID, but also if he does get an opportunity to go in and see my grandpa at any point, we want him to be able to just go without having to worry about the fact that he could have COVID from my brother or Thomas. So panic stations everywhere. I'm trying to keep my cool and trying to stay chill as I possibly can. So this is helping, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I thought I would just update you, let you know how I'm getting on, and get this reading vlog started. So I'm gonna go carry on reading.
The next day.
Good morning, team. It is Thursday. Totally nearly said Tuesday then, because my mind is battered, because I'm half home, half at work. I'm here to give you a quick update. I say quick update, it might be a long one. Obviously, because of who I am as a person, my TBR for this week has changed. Not massively. I've just taken a book out and picked up a different one. So let me tell you about that in a second, but I finished a book yesterday, which was The Sound of Stars by Alicia. I gave this one 4 stars. This was really good. The diversity and the representation in here was fantastic. We are following a young girl called Ellie who, she's 17 years old, and basically her world, she lives in New York City, she lives with her mum and dad. Her dad has been mentally kind of taken over by these aliens, the Allori, who have come down to Earth, and essentially they are living as prisoners in their own homes. So we have had music taken away from us, books, TV, all kinds of that stuff, anything that can be creative and artistic and stuff, because the Allori believe that we use this stuff as weapons. We can use this stuff to rebel and things like that. So it's all been taken away, and basically our main character Ellie has her own secret little library. And one day this Allori, Morris, finds her secret library. Now he is not a usual Allori. He has emotions which they're not supposed to have, and he loves music, and he asks Ellie for some help in trying to get hold of the music within her blog. So basically the idea behind this is, can Ellie and Morris, with their love of books and music, come together and try and save humanity? Now the representation in here is that Ellie is black. There is POC rep in here, a lot of POC rep in here, and she is also demi-ace, so lots of queerness in here. There's bisexual rep in here, there is non-binary characters in here, so lots and lots of queer rep. And then obviously the rebellion, the whole, you know, having one race against another and things like that. It's just so much going on in here, and it's very cleverly done with the sci-fi thrown in and stuff. It is kind of left very open at the end of the book. We don't get a very neat, tidy ending at the end of the book. So this is one of those things where if you're the kind of person that has to have everything wrapped up at the end of a book, you may not enjoy the way this one ends very much, but I really liked it. I thought it was good. I gave it 4 stars. The representation was fantastic, and there is also quite high functioning anxiety rep in here as well, which I really appreciated because I have high functioning anxiety. So I really appreciated that. The whole counting backwards from 5 kind of thing happens a lot in here. Ellie's got quite high functioning anxiety, so I did really appreciate that. It's not very often you see that done quite well in a book, so I really liked it. It was good, so I would recommend. I would recommend picking it up. I know that Alicia Dow's new book, The Kindred, sorry, comes out in February, I think. So I may pick that up. I know I'm trying to stay away from YA a little bit because I'm kind of coming out of that point in my life now, but I might try and pick it up because I did enjoy Alicia's writing style. I thought it was great. We got multiple POV. It was fantastic. So yeah, I would recommend. 4 stars. So I finished that yesterday, and then I did immediately pick up The Hatmakers by Tamzin Merchant, and so far I'm enjoying this. I got 86 pages in. I just read it for 1 sprint, but I was having a really weird moment last night where I kind of wanted to flit about a little bit and just see what I fancied reading. I think when I'm in these moments, I need to acknowledge that I just want to pick up some small. We were still on sprints when this happened yesterday, and my patrons were, well, both mine and Jay's patrons were just like, Steph, just pick up some small, and in the end it turns out they were correct. So but yeah, enjoying this one so far. Basically, our main character Cordelia, her dad has gone missing. His boat has capsized, and he is lost at sea, and she sees that as he's lost, not dead. So she sent this bird on its way to go send a message to her dad, and she's hoping to get something back. I don't know where we're going to go from here, but so far we have the hat makers, we have the boot makers, we've got the glove makers. There's all different kinds of makers in here. Apparently they're not supposed to get on, so that's interesting. And they've been making a hat for the king, who has lost his mind, and they're hoping that, like, if he has the hat maker and if he has a hat, I don't know if there's like magic in these things or something. I'm not sure the full ins and outs of it. I don't know where this is going, but it should be a quick, easy read, and I am hoping to finish this today. So I did start The Hat Makers, and then on top of that, I also started The Roommate Risk by Talia Hibbert, which is the smut book that I ended up picking up, and I got 68 pages into this one. This one so far is so good. We're following Jasmine, and we're also following Raoul. So basically, Jazz, to start off with, her roommate, she lives with her roommate who basically owns the room that the flat that she lives in, and she comes home from work one day and her room has been flooded from the flat above, and her roommate is a complete ditz and didn't do anything. She didn't remove anything from the room, she just kind of left it. She phoned her dad, who like runs the building, I think, and told him what happened, and it's going to take ages to get it fixed. So Jazz phones her best friend Raoul and asks him, can she stay with him for the night? He's like, don't be stupid, you can stay with me completely until it's done, blah blah blah. She's a sort of independent woman who doesn't need anybody's help, and she fucking hates asking for help. She hates relying on people, so, which I understand, I get that. So there's that, but it turns out that 7 years ago when they first met, they actually slept together. And Raoul is essentially in love with Jazz, and now he's feeling like he made a big mistake asking her to live with him while her room's getting sorted, because now he has to deal with the fact that she's mooching about in a towel, and you know, she's getting changed in the next room and all of that stuff. So very excited about this one. It's kind of like the one bedroom trope, but not. It's the one flat trope, but also, you know, best friends to lovers, and I'm really here for it. Very excited. She's like against relationships and all of that, so I'm really excited about it. There was a sex scene like within 20 pages. It was a very good sex scene. Talia Hibbert nailed it as always, and yeah, I'm having a good time. This is very short indeed. It's less than 300 pages, I reckon, 253 pages, so very excited about reading this one. So, and my plan later is to start this with Jade. So I'm partway through quite a few books today, but I'm having a good time. Now, last night, well, early hours of this morning, decided to have a butchers at TBRPGAthon, which is hosted by Ro from Wandering Worlds. My apologies, Ro, if I fucked that up. I'm hoping I didn't. But basically, I wasn't going to take part in this because I didn't want the stress this week of, you know, taking part in something quite rigid, and because I was struggling obviously from last week and the information from my grandpa and everything, and I've even struggled to get this fucking reading vlog started. Like, I started it yesterday afternoon. So, oh, by the way, I've taken out Jade Fire Gold. I'm not reading that now, just in case you hadn't figured that out, because I didn't say it, did I? So you wouldn't have. Anywho, what was I saying? TBRPGAthon. So last night I decided to go and have a butcher's as some of the prompts. Now, this is the kind of readathon that you can choose your own path type of thing. So very similar to the Thousand Doors readathon, but done in a different way. There's a story to it, and it's very, very clever the way that Rose done it. So I decided to have a butcher's last night, see if I can get the books that I'm reading this week to fit. I can also include the books that will be on my 24-hour readathon TBR on Saturday as well, so that's great. But basically, Mondays, so she's done it in days, so you get a prompt every single day, which is great. And Monday's prompt, I picked Duet, which is for a book with more than one POV, or, you know, if it's told in third person, you're following several different people, essentially. So for this one, The Sound of Stars actually has more than one POV. We're following both Ellie and Morris, so that's great news. So I've put The Sound of Stars on. I finished it, which is awesome. Then on Tuesday, I picked To Herd the Creature. If you're following the readathon, this will make sense. If you're not, it doesn't matter. And that's to pick a book with a companion in it. So this can be an animal companion, it can be, you know, a friendship, it can be a relationship, etc. So naturally, the roommate risk counts. To the point that the companions end up living together. So awesome. Wednesday's prompt, I went left, and this is to read a book set in America / by an American author, that side of the world. So it turns out that Brandy Sandy is American, so I've picked Shadows of Self for that because I'm planning on reading that this week. And then yesterday's prompt was for a low roll or a high roll. I ended up doing a D&D roll and ended up with a D20 roll and ended up with a low roll, and that's to read a book with less than 300 pages. So I really want to read Where the Drowned Girls Go because I got this last week and I've not picked it up yet. Similarly, Shauna Maguire's American, but this is also under 300 pages, so if I don't get a chance to get to Where the Drowned Girls Go, this counts, which is awesome. I also have at least one, if not two books on my Saturday TBR that are under 300 pages. So that's where I'm up to with TBRPGAthon as well, if you were interested in that. Obviously, at the end of the week, I will let you know what my TBR was for all of that and wrap it all up nicely. But I also have two parcels that have come through from Posty today. So let's open these up and see what they are, because I'm unsure. Nice. Okay, so this is my pre-order of Flowers, Crowns and Fearsome Things by Amanda Lovelace. Also under 300 pages, I assume. Yep, 155. This is beautiful. It's a poetry collection. I get all of Amanda Lovelace's poetry collections because I adore them. I actually have her Oracle deck as well. So I'm very excited to have this. It came out yesterday, and basically it's like this. So you have poetry on one side, illustration on the other, and it's stunning, and I'm very excited. So I have that, and then in here, I don't know who this is from. I thought it might be Harper 360, but usually there's a sticker on the front to tell me that. So this is the second one of these I've gotten. I think it is Harper 360. It's an ARC nonetheless. Yeah, it's HarperCollins. Okay, so I got We Were Kings by Court Stevens. So this is a thriller, YA thriller, I think, ironically enough. A 20-year-old crime, an accelerated death penalty, and an elitist family cover-up. Nyla races against the death row clock to save a woman the world is rooting for and against. Which side would you choose? It sounds really interesting. This is why I went for it. And also, our main character is 18, I think. So she's the upper end of YA. So thank you to Harper 360 for sending this through. When do you come out? February 15th. So keep your eyes open for that. I might try and pick this up soon, actually. Oh, the chapters are short as well. Outstanding. There's parts as well. Good job, Court Stevens. We love short chapters. So yeah, thank you Tab 360 for that one. And so I'm gonna go because I actually need to get something to eat, and I want to get on with a bit of work and some reading. So I'll check back in with you later.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Good afternoon, it is Sunday. So yesterday I did 24-hour readathon and I'm shattered. And I kind of want to chill a little bit today, but I do still have some reading left to do for TBRPGAthon. So I thought I would let you know what I'm planning on doing today. I am partway through both of these two, which are the Hat Makers and the Roommate Risk, and both of them were down for prompts for TBRPGAthon. But I don't have it in me today. This is audibly, so I could still do this one and it would only take a couple of hours to get through, but I don't think I'll be giving it my all and that's not fair. This is a physical read and I haven't got it in me to finish this off today. So these are both going to go into next week, which is okay, little stressful, but okay. Then I'm still partway through Where the Drowned Girls Go, but this is small and I'm already halfway through, so I can get through this one. That's not too stressful, that's okay. And then I'm gonna put on here The Extraordinary by V.E. Schwab, which is just a short graphic novel. And I'm gonna read this one instead. So this is gonna go on for the hardcover prompt, because I did get a hardback prompt and I was going to use the Hat Makers for it, but I'm going to swap it out for this one. Those two are my plans today. If I feel like I want to read some more later on, I probably will pick up the Roommate Risk and try and finish it, but I don't want to put that pressure on myself and have it as a prompt. But so far I have completed a book for every single prompt. The 24-hour readathon yesterday really helped. So I'm not going to tell you about that now because I don't want to repeat myself again at the end of the video. But I will at the end of the video wrap up everything that I read for TBRPGAthon and what steps I took, what prompts I ended up with, etc. So yeah, I'm going to go and get these done so that I can chill for the rest of the day. And I think I just want to watch some TV, to be perfectly honest. So if I do feel like reading, I will, but if I don't wanna, I'm not gonna. So it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna go get these done and I'll check back in with you in a little bit, let you know how I'm getting on. Okay, so I'm here to wrap this up. I was going to try and extend this vlog and just try and make it, you know, a little bit longer into the evening, but I've just had some bad news, so I'm not feeling it. I just kind of want to curl up on the sofa and watch a bit of TV, so I'm going to do that for the rest of the evening. But I did manage to finish the two books that I mentioned, The Extraordinary and also Where the Drowned Girls Go, so I'm going to go through those with you in a second, but let's go through each of the prompts step by step and what route I decided to take for TBRPGAthon so that you know what I did and what I managed to read. I did manage to read this stack of books, and which means I read a book for every single prompt, which is pretty impressive. And some of these books will not be featured in this vlog because I read them as part of the 24-hour readathon that I did yesterday, which the vlog for that will go up. It's probably the next video after this one, possibly. If it's not, it'll be a bit later on. You'll see it at some point. If you're watching this in the future, then, well, obviously you're watching it in the future, but if you're watching it way after it's gone up, I will link it up here, the other vlog. So if I seem like I can't be arsed right now, part of it is because I can't, but also because of the bad news I've just had. So I'm just trying to zen and not freak out and cry. So that's what's going on right now. So Monday's prompt, the options were either to go alone or as a duet with Ro, and I went for duet. So that was to read a book with more than one POV, or if it was like told in third person or something, then, you know, you're getting the POVs from the other characters. So the book I went for was The Sound of Stars by Alicia, which does have multiple POV, and I have banged on about this book plenty in this reading vlog, so I'm not going to go on about it anymore, but I did give it 4 stars, thought it was really, really good, and I have just been sent today as well. Well, not today, it came on Friday, but the postie posted it to the wrong person, so I've got it from my neighbour today. But I've just been sent as well Alicia Dow's new book, which is The Kindred, so I'm really looking forward to picking that up very, very soon. It's gone on my February TBR. In fact, it'll be right here. This one. I'm reviewing this on the 3rd of February on Instagram, the day that this comes out in the UK, so just FYI. So yeah, I gave this one 4 stars, really enjoyed it, thought it was fantastic. You've seen my thoughts, full thoughts on it. Then Tuesday's prompt was to either herd the animal or go your, you know, separate and try and trap the animal. I went for herd, so that was companion, and that is to read a book, you know, with an animal companion in it, with a person companion in it, just, you know, bend it to your will. And I went for a person companion, so I ended up reading Written in the Stars by Alexandria Fleur, and this is a book, I was supposed to be doing the roommate risk for this one, but I haven't finished that book, and I'm not going to get it finished by the end of today because I don't want to read anything else today. I do not have the mental capacity to do so. So I ended up swapping it out for this one, which I did read yesterday during the 24-hour readathon. If you want my full thoughts on this one, again, the video will be up here if you're watching this quite a few, you know, a week or 2 down the line or way in the future. But otherwise, the video is on its way. Don't panic, you will see it. But my full thoughts will be in there. But I did give this 4 stars. It was good. It's a female romance book, and it's full of astrology and all of that good stuff as well, so I would recommend 4 stars for that one. Then Wednesday's prompt was the option to either go left or right in the tunnels, and I went left, and that was to read a book. It was to do with like the America and all of that stuff, so it was to read a book by an American author, a book set in America, etc, etc. So I read a book by an American author, and I went for Flower Crowns and Fearsome Things by Amanda Lovelace, which is a poetry collection. It's her latest poetry collection, and I love Amanda's poetry collections, and I did give this one 4 stars. It's not my favourite of hers that she's done, but I did still really enjoy it, and I liked what she had to say in here, and I really liked how this is laid out with a picture on one side and the poem on the other consistently, and I really, really enjoyed this one, so I did give it 4 stars. Again, I think I mentioned it earlier on in the vlog, so 4 stars for this one. Then Thursday's prompt was you had to roll a D&D, well, a D20 die, and if you got between, I think it was 1 to 10, you were low, and if you were 11 to 20, you were high. I got low, I can't remember what my number was, but I got low, and that was to read a book of less than 300 pages, so I did go for Where the Drowned Girls Go by Shauna Maguire, which is the latest in the Wayward Children series, and I have just finished this off. It's under 300 pages, I think it's under 200 at this point, it's 150, I'm fairly certain. Yeah, 150 pages, and I enjoyed this one. It was good. I gave it 4 stars. So far I've given all of the Wayward Children series 4 stars, and I do enjoy it. It's a very easy series to just mindlessly listen to while you're doing other stuff, which is what I've done. I've updated my core pile tracker and also my digital reading journal as well, and I enjoyed this. It was good. We're following Cora, who ends up at Eleanor West's Home for Wayward Children. Sorry if I don't make sense right now. Home for Wayward Children. However, she doesn't feel like that's where she belongs, and she really would like to find her door, and it turns out there is a secondary home where you can go to, and it is called the Whitethorn Institute. But I enjoyed this. It was good, and I really enjoyed that we got some more Sumi action in here as well, because I did like her, and yeah, 4 stars for this one. Sorry I can't give more of a thoughtful review on that. I'm just not with it. My apologies. Fridays we had like a, you know, when you go to the fair and there's like a bell thing and you've got to hit it and hit the thing on the bell and make the bell ring. It's a bit like that. So the options were a short stick or a long stick, and I went for a short stick because my thought process is that with a shorter stick you've got more momentum because it's not going as far with the hammer. Does that make sense? Maybe not. We'll just blame it on my mental state. So I went for the short stick, which was to read a hardback, and I was going to go for the Hat Makers for this by Tamzin Merchant, but again, don't have the mental capacity to finish that book today. So I've gone for Extraordinary by V.E. Schwab, which is a graphic novel. Didn't take me long to get through this at all. I gave this 5 stars. I really loved this. This is like a companion, ironically enough, a graphic novel that kind of runs semi alongside but also after the events of Vengeful. So it runs alongside Vicious a little bit with giving us some more background again to, well, not more background, but refreshing our memories essentially with what happened in Vicious with Eli and Victor, and then a little bit of what happened in Vengeful towards the end of Vengeful, and then it's following on from the end of Vengeful. We're following our main character Charlotte, who's a new EO, and basically she's trying to figure out her own powers, where she now belongs in the world, and trying to figure out what is going on moving forward. We get a lot of Eli in this, but I'm really looking forward to volume 2. I cannot wait for volume 2, so really hyped for that. And yeah, looking forward to continuing on with this series for sure, because I really did love the Villains series, and I am looking forward to book 3 when it finally comes out. So 5 stars for this one. That whole series has been 5 stars for me so far, so it was great. Would recommend. Don't pick it up if you haven't read the Villain series, because it won't make any sense. It gives you enough background that you could, but I would recommend reading the Villain series first, and then you can continue on and it'll make way more sense. Saturday was a little bit like the game Operation, and it was a crane, and you could either be the person that was, you know, going down and picking up the thing, or the person in control. I wanted to be the person in control, so I went for controls, and this was the prompt was control. So for me, I adapted that to the point that the main character in this book has no control over what is happening with her situation, and that's what I went for. That's how I adapted this prompt. And I was reading All Your Perfects by Colin Hoover for this one, in which we're following a woman and a man, Quinn and also Graham, who are struggling with infertility, so therefore they have no control over their situation. And I've gone on about this book a lot. I read this during the 24-hour readathon again, so I have discussed it in there, but trigger warnings for this one: infertility, also depression, so just be wary of that going in. But yeah, infertility is a huge thing in this, which obviously nobody has any control with infertility issues, and therefore that's how I felt the control coming in as far as that was concerned. Gave this one 5 stars, really loved it. Would recommend, but obviously trigger warnings. And if you want to know my full thoughts on this one, that vlog again. So that's what I read for that one. It's a little bit confusing because I've done this readathon over 2 different vlogs, one of which, you know, you're going to get the vlogs separately. So my apologies for that, but do please go watch that other vlog. I would recommend. I managed to do a lot in that day. It was great. And then the final one, Sunday's prompt, was at the very end. You had the option to steal or share. This is a little bit like that game. What was it called? I can't remember what the game was called, but you have the balls and you try and win loads of money, and then at the very end with your partner you either steal or share. Split or steal, that was it. Split or steal. Little bit like that. So I shared, because that's who I am as a person. I'm not going to go through the whole thing and then steal just because of who I am as a person. So I went for share, and for this one the prompt was for found family. The only book I've read this week that kind of fits this, really, I would assume. Although maybe this has a little bit of found family elements in it, maybe. And the Wayward Children series tends to always have a bit of found family in it, so they could count possibly. But I went for the Blackhawks by David Ragg, because again, I read this during the 24-hour readathon and I really enjoyed it. Gave it 4 stars. It was very good, and it's a case of following this guy called Chell, who basically finds himself, the kingdom's in turmoil, and he finds himself with an opportunity of escorting a stranded prince to safety in exchange for him being released from his oath. So he's trying to help this prince out, but he ends up coming across the Blackhawk company, who then end up helping him with this mission, and it kind of becomes a found family thing within that, and they all become, you know, very close and help each other out. And there's the second one in this series called The Righteous something or other. I can't remember what it's called. I just know it's got the word righteous in it. There's a picture of it here. But yeah, found family in this one for sure. And I did enjoy this one. I gave it 4 stars again. Full thoughts in that next vlog. But gave this one 4 stars. So overall, I had a really good reading week. I wasn't planning on taking part in TBGAthon because I had been already struggling with a very tough week mentally from the back end of last week into this week. And then, as we can see today, it's gotten worse. So generally the week has been okay. I wouldn't have been able to complete all of these books if it wasn't for the fact that I was working from home for a good chunk of the week. Been a shit week. I'm not gonna lie. As far as reading's concerned, it's been really fucking good, but the rest of it has been a shit show. My life is on fire. But yeah, this is pretty good on the basis that 1, 2, 3, 4 of these are complete novels. One of them's a novella, another one's poetry, and the other one's graphic novel. So it's been a pretty good week, I'm not gonna lie, as far as reading's concerned. The rest of it's been a shit show. But yeah, thanks to Ro for hosting this readathon. I did only decide to start taking part, I think it was like 4 o'clock on Friday morning or something, because again, I've not been sleeping very well. It was silly o'clock Friday morning. I went through her prompts to see if any of the books I'd already read this week would fit, and they did start to fit, and I just made the rest of it work throughout the rest of the weekend. So thanks to Ro for hosting. I do apologise for not being a bit more of an active participant as far as like being in sprints are concerned and things like that. But I think Rose smashed it. The storytelling was fantastic. The readathon itself was great. I do love these choose your own adventure type readathons. I think they're great. So I think Ro absolutely smashed it. And Jord as well. Hats off to him because I know that he's helped Ro out with it. So hats off to the pair of them. Dream team. Absolutely smashed it. Good job, Ro. And I'm dead proud of you. And I'm proud of myself as well for nailing this, you know. So despite the shit week. So yeah, I do apologise for how grumpy the ending of this has been. I apologise. There's not much else I can do about it, unfortunately. But I hope you have enjoyed this vlog overall. I don't know what it's going to look like. No idea how long it's going to be. But I hope that this has been okay. I hope the vlog turns out alright. Otherwise, I'm going to want to punch myself straight in the face. And I hope you're all having a much better week than I am, and have a much better week going into the next one. In fact, by the time you see this, you'll already be partway through the next one, but you know what I'm saying. And yeah, I hope you're all doing all right. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these. Let me know if you took part in TBGAthon. How did you do? How did you get on? Let me know. Chat to me in the comments down below. And if you don't want to chat to me in the comments down below, but you want to let me know you were here, just drop me a blue heart emoji. I can't be bothered thinking too hard about it today. Just drop me a blue heart emoji and I will chat to you in the next one. Bye for now.